Hello everyone, welcome to your reading. This is a general reading for all signs for the month of November 21st through December 21st. I'm not like super stoked on doing one for, you know, a general reading, especially for this time, because I feel like it's such a, you know, rushy time for a lot of people, but also for me, so I don't have time to do 12 different readings, to be perfectly honest with you. So I'm going to do this one reading, and hopefully we'll be able to get into some good juicy stuff still, and hopefully still give some people something to work with, and yeah, and hopefully then also resume my previous schedule next month. So have laid some cards already. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to do this. I think I'm going to do it a little bit differently than I usually do, just because it is such a general thing, and I also want to kind of get maybe a little bit deeper into it. So, but I do have some cards in front of me, and we can talk about this this energy that I'm seeing. So here goes nothing. It is very much a sharing vibe, right? But it's specifically a sharing of information and a sharing of ideals. A little bit less of a sharing of like emotions and that kind of thing, passions and that kind of thing, except in the ideals department, right? Very much more about sharing information, about telling people how it is, kind of, right? Telling people either something that already happened, something that is currently happening, something that is sort of concrete and you're able to talk about a little bit, right? And it can be a subjective thing. As I said, most ideals and things are subjective, but it's less, you know, it's not like an ooey gooey sharing. It's like a very informational sharing kind of vibe. I am seeing a few things as far as that is concerned. I'm seeing definitely a little bit of an opening of perspective for some people. Obviously, I am getting this a closed off, right? A very closed off, intolerant kind of energy. So some people or somebody is definitely kind of exhibiting that, and then, or will be, I should say. And then also I'm getting this back and forth hot cold thing, right, too, where it's like maybe in order to kind of get your point across, you may have to come at it from a few different perspectives, and maybe like slowly, and maybe like in and out kind of thing, you know what I mean? Not in and out, but like coming with a little information, pulling back a little bit more, and then pulling back a little bit, giving somebody time to digest what you're telling them, kind of thing. So those are some distinct energies that I'm getting as far as that is concerned. I am getting a little bit of maybe frustration as far as ideals go, and things not panning out exactly how you want, or maybe some a desire for things to be a little bit quieter and slowed down, right? And a little bit maybe less interactive, less head-to-head kind of thing. Okay, I need to quit it with the ums. The other thing that I'm seeing strongly in here, there are some like relationship elements, specifically parent-child relationships, and then also like romantic relationships, I guess, or somebody that you're you know, partnered with in your life or whatever. Yeah, and information being shared that way, and some perhaps also some like inner child work coming up, or inner child things coming up, right? There's a sort of a sense of this innocence. There's a child energy in here. It's not the entire spread, but it's in here in part of it. So I'm getting that may be an aspect related to some of this. It's very, very somehow surrounded or surrounding children or child energy, or a child in innocence, right? An inner innocence kind of thing. And I am seeing that it's all this information is very this information that's being shared and passed around and going around and stuff. It's not, it comes from a place of authenticity. And as I said, it's that innocence thing, right? It's not coming from a place of malice, but it is coming from a very real place, and an authentic place, like I just said. So that's one thing to keep in mind as well, right? And not seeing that it's, done for the sake of being disruptive or whatever. It looks very much more like perhaps a necessity, and also that it just is, right? It just is. People are going to come into situations as themselves, and they're going to be bringing a certain energy with them, and it's going to be coming kind of head to head, right? And this whole spread is very like vibrational, right? Like very like a vibration, and it's shooting through other things, kind of thing, right? Everything moving parts and coming together and that kind of thing. Yeah, definitely a little bit of a gracelessness maybe too. Not the most tact in the world, but as I said, in an authentic way. So let's see. I think I'm gonna pick these up and lay some more cards down, and try to get maybe I'll just come back with some advice, I guess, as I usually do. Yes, all right. Okay, I'm back with your advice. Interesting, very interesting. I wasn't sure how this was gonna go because it is such a general reading. How do you give advice to, everyone, I guess, but let me wrap my blanket around me because I'm cold. And then we'll talk about this. So pretty much what I'm seeing, it is a little bit different than the advice that I usually receive. Usually when I ask for advice, I get it. It's pretty kind of do and don't, right? But this is very, did I push record? So yeah, pretty much they're kind of, this one's kind of giving you a bit of a choice, right? It's asking you to look at your objective. It's asking you to take a little bit of control over your actions, first of all, right? And to think about what you really want to get out of what you're doing. Do you need to express your ideas and your ideals? Is that the most important thing, right? And it very well may be. Or is it more important to kind of save a little bit of that, right? Be a little bit more reserved with some of your information. You may not need to share it all. So they're basically kind of saying if you choose to share it, right? So this is a little bit strange, but if you're a slippery fish, because that's what I'm seeing is this slippery fish vibe. It's or somebody is on the track that they're on. They have information they want to share. They have something that they want to say, and they're ready to say it. They're not trying to be as interactive, I guess, with their environment and all that kind of stuff. It's more about their objective and doing what they need to do, and it's also less controlled. There's not a lot of control. There's some blockages. There's some closed offness towards those around you and towards your environment and things like that. But it's not in a control way. It's in a cold way, basically. And this energy is sort of spontaneous too. It's very, as I said, it's not super thoughtful. It's very like, have a feeling, say it, or something comes to your mind to say it, kind of thing. Not a whole lot of preconception and that kind of thing. And that's gonna help you to win your arguments, right? Or to get your point across. Could really be useful. Could open up some doors for you, for sure. Could bring a new sense of kind of authenticity to a situation. Could bring a sense of balance and building something, right? So these things are not necessarily negative things. That these can definitely be good things, but it's about taking stock of your sort of individual assessment, whether winning an argument, right, and opening some new doors, but possibly ending some old doors is important, or whether it's kind of the other side of this reading that I'm seeing, which is being much more responsive to your environment than that slippery fish thing. Being more, first of all, within the moment, right? Appreciating the moment, taking the moment for what it is, one by one, not thinking about the past, not thinking about the future, but being very like within the moment. And also thinking about things like your obligations, especially where it comes to children and younger people and that kind of thing, or a parent-child relationship also. Thinking about where your obligations lie, right, and who do they lie with, and then also to make sure that what you're doing and the actions that you're taking are of a nurturing kind of vibe, that they're not things that are going to tear anything or anybody down, right? That they're only things that are meant to kind of nurture what's already going on. And I'm getting, as I said, that this is a momentary kind of thing, that it's about taking in the moment and the good parts of the moment and going off of that, right? And trying to nurture and encourage that, and not sort of interrupt it with this necessity of having to speak and share something, right? And it will be, and it's kind of that thing where it's like, is it so important that everyone agrees with you, or is it okay that you know, right? Is it okay that you know for yourself these things? And that's where, again, that decision making is going to have to come in, where you think about these specific individual occurrences, right, that are happening, and take them one by one and say, are you trying to enhance this moment, or are you trying to maybe sacrifice the moment for something in the future? What is more important, right? Kind of closing off some of this information and keeping some of it to yourself, and appeasing some of the maybe appeasing is the wrong word, but being a little more obligation oriented, being a little bit more duty oriented, a little bit less like individual, and more community oriented in a way that's focused on enjoyment and fulfilling sort of a happiness in the moment, if that makes sense. Hopefully this is making some sense, this sort of duality. See if I can sort of explain this duality a little bit more, right? One is it's very much warmer, and I'm seeing that reflected in the colors, right? Also, there's a lot of reds and pinks and things in here. It's interactive, it's all that kind of stuff, but it's interactive, but it's in a way that's keeping something reserved, right? And in the other one, you're not keeping anything reserved, but it's less interactive, because it's more about the individual and the individual perspective, and making that known and sharing it and stuff. So yeah, but this is very much about taking control of what you want out of this situation. And it, as I said, it may be more important to speak these truths, and in the long run could lead to some very, very nice and beautiful things. Some stabilities and a lot of inspiration and things like that. Or do you want to kind of take the short term in, and maybe deal with that long term stuff later? Is it something that can be put off, right? Is it something that is going to never come to a head if you don't speak about it right now, right? You may choose to sort of sacrifice this warmth and this enjoyment of the moment to really get that out there, because this may be the time, right? It's kind of more about feeling that out, and then also feeling strong within yourself to make those decisions for yourself, and to be also that catalyst, and to realize that your actions and your words and things are going to be that catalyst, are going to be the thing that kind of makes this either go one way or go another way. And I'm not saying that either are necessarily bad. It's just about making that choice. It's about taking things moment to moment and being very much more thoughtful, right? I did a bad job setting my alarm, so I ran out of time. Anyways, as I was saying, yes, both of these decisions, whichever decision you make, can have good outcomes, right? They definitely can. It's just that one is a little more momentary, and one can be a little bit more far-reaching. But both are valuable. And it's about having strength and having the resolution to make those decisions and say, you know, I'm going to make this decision, and I know what I'm doing, and I know that I may be making some people uncomfortable in this moment, you know, but it's what needs to happen, or I know that I may be maybe kind of not being the most truthful that I could ever be, but that also kind of needs to happen, right? Having that sense of self to be able to do that. So yeah, I don't know if I what exact part that I cut off, but yeah, hopefully this is helpful. I know it's quite general, so I really can't say which would be better, right? Again, it's about making that decision. It's about taking things one by one and being aware of what you're sacrificing and also what you're gaining as well. So yes, I hope this was helpful. If it was, let me know. Like, share, subscribe. Give yourself a high five. I don't know. Yes. Is that all I want to say? That's everything I want to say. So thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.